My God. Okay. Crazy. Crazy stuff.
If you have been dreaming about the slamming JBL sound, then pay extra attention here, as speakers like the S-3900 and the 4700 now are on sale with serious discounts to clear out the stock. It's the perfect storm, and I ran into it. This, my curious music-loving friends of the audiophilia brethren, is the JBL S-4700. It marks the end of an era and the start of a new, as this model, along with its little brother, the S-3900, is being replaced by the new Summit series that are totally different beasts catering for the highest-end market. The S-4700 is a direct descendant of JBL's Project K2 lineage, bringing professional audio DNA into a high-output, high-efficiency floor stander designed practically for serious home use. In this video, I go through the engineering, the strengths and the compromises, and I put it in front of parts of the Silverback listening team. We also try to take it to the edge of its SPL capability, and boy, were we naive.
That's insane from one driver.
Expect dynamic power and effortless scale here. The kind of presence many conventional hi-fi speakers simply can't deliver.
Martin, what the hell are you doing?
I hear the voices, and if you know my preferences, you might think I've gone a bit loco. We'll get to that. But first, thank you Genelec, thank you Lingdorf, thank you GeigenTakt, thank you Sigberg Audio, thank you Autophon, and thank you AV Connection. Thank you for supporting making hi-fi great again and nature preservation. You're all bloody awesome. I've been chasing something different lately. I got infected with the Veslyt V15C, a so-called power monitor with huge punch and joy. It wasn't neutral, it wasn't refined, but it was heaps of fun. Somehow it turned out I was listening to more music because of it. That made me question why this kind of energy is so rare in high-end hi-fi, where the chase for neutrality and so-called realism often squeezes the joy out of music that is not ready to be scrutinized in high resolution. So the mission became kind of simple. Find a speaker that keeps that slam and engagement, but adds just enough precision to handle more demanding hi-fi. Like classical music opera, lively when it should be and disciplined when it must. The answer to that very thing came from an unexpected source, Sigberg Audio. Both their new Sarana and the flagship Manta delivers just that, but with a politeness that, depending on your levels of introvertism, might require something a bit more unruly, maybe a bit more savage, a bit more extreme. See where we're getting at here?
Man, the power and the dynamics they're to die for, and you can just keep on pushing them until your ears fall off, and that just comes on with a big smile. You just can't sit still.
That JBL sound is unmistakable. It's dynamic, forward, articulate, and with real impact when it matters. The question was whether that character could live in a home-friendly, more balanced hi-fi design. Before we answer that, let's get the nerd on the engineering.
We work for charity, support nature preservation, so get on board for the preservation.
The JBL 4700 is a three-way bass reflex floor stander, just over 3 feet tall and weighing about 110 pounds. It's finished in a real cherry veneer, was also available in black, and it walks that fine line between studio monitor attitude and living room friendliness. The cabinet is constructed using a 25mm MDF. It's solid, but it's not tank-like. This is not a Project K2 construction, no sonoglass panels, no ultra-dense multi-layer architecture like the S9800. It's lighter, it's more cost aware. I think it looks great though, and the size and shallow depth are perfect for many rooms. The straight edges there and the real wood finish can be a bit... It's not a speaker you want to clip on the doorway, and you really don't want your partner bumping a vacuum cleaner into them either. That's the trade-off. You're paying for performance, not for industrial armor plating here. And sonically, that choice makes sense. At its core, the S-4700 is about high sensitivity, low compression, and controlled directivity. The bass comes from a 15-inch paper pulp cone woofer using JBL's patented differential drive system, dual voice coils, and a neodymium motor. It moves air like a PA driver, but stays tight as a nun's thighs. This is where much of the speed and slam comes from.
That big 15-inch Pro driver that just slams your chest, you just know this is something special that you don't get in a normal HIFI speaker.
The mids and most of the highs actually is handled by this 1.75-inch compression driver with a coated titanium diaphragm.
The horn is crisp and dynamic and fast as we know it, but it doesn't come with the horn colored sound you had maybe 40, 50 years ago. So they're definitely smooth and nice, but not so smooth as a normal HIFI speaker, which can also be a bit boring, you know.
Mounted in a 90 by 60 degree B-radial horn covering roughly from 800 Hz to 12,000 Hz. Above that, a dedicated 0.75-inch titanium compression driver takes over through a narrower 60 by 30 degree horn, adding air and sparkle. Covering such a wide frequency range with one driver avoids many crossover issues in the most sensitive part of our hearing, especially phase and directivity weirdness. The result is that seducing JBL sound. It's big, bold, dynamic, and articulate. And it makes absolutely no excuses, naturally, with some compromise there, as all speakers have. We'll get to them. 94 dB sensitivity on paper and 300 watts RMS power handling means that the S-4700 plays effortlessly loud. Not just in decibels, but in presence. It doesn't just fill that room, it fires into it like a cannon. It still rewards proper amplification, of course. I use the Linkdorf MXA 8400 Eigentakt amplifier that delivers ultra clean power, high damping factor, and full control. Despite the size, it's really not a brutal amplifier load at all. If your amp can grip the woofer, you're fine. I even used a pair of channels in bridge mode on the MXA 8400, even though the JBLs are rated at 6 ohms. No problem, not even in the most extreme. Tube amps are very much on the table here if you don't want to explore the full SPL potential of the S-4700. We even ran them happily on a 40-year-old 25-watt NAD 3020E, being loud enough for most sane people. It all depends on how loud you want to get. But what is the actual limit? Usually we try to push the speakers we test to the edge if possible to get an idea of the available headroom. But as you will discover, the S-4700 limit, given enough power, kind of broke the scale. A speaker that finds Tim's limits.
That's insane from one driver on each side.
That was 115, and we were still not
That's
hitting the end stops.
Impressive power handling.
Wow.
And it was delivered cleanly as well.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
They will probably be all the power you need if you have 100 watts of amplification. And it's actually pushing what the microphone is capable of, right?
And me.
So
Wow.
we found Tim's limits
I
this
think
time.
it might have. I think it might have. It was still enjoyable. It was just slightly frightening, but
If I were drunk, I would just keep playing at that volume.
yes, exactly. Yeah, then bring it on. Completely different to your Techniques speakers.
Yeah.
These are much more like party PA type speakers, but that doesn't mean to talk them down in any way that they're not refined. They can just deliver for a relatively small cabinet and a single 15-inch driver. PA volume at concerts, that is.
At 117 dB, it still felt half asleep, being like,
Do you know how easy this is for me? Do you have any fucking idea how easy this is? This is a fucking joke.
We work for charity, support nature preservation. So get on board for the price.
in most rooms, the S-4700 can be placed beneficially very close to the back wall, depending on where the strongest room mode is found.
They have this big 15-inch speaker in a relatively compact cabinet. They're relatively dropping off below 40 hertz. So pushing them up against the front wall and get a lot of room enforcement, it doesn't hurt them at all. Actually, it reinforces the first octave, and you don't need much EQ to tame the bass. For example, if you have a speaker that goes cleanly to 20 hertz, you will always have a lot of room gain in the first octave that you need to tame, otherwise it will be overpowering. But you didn't get that here because they're dropping off smoothly below around 40 hertz.
Yeah, naturally they're just dropping off.
And because they have the horn, they're not so sensitive to close boundaries and so on. I think they're quite room-friendly. It will be easy to get good sounds really quickly.
It can still benefit from a sub below about 50 hertz. But matching its capability, however, requires some serious subs. The simpler compromise is living without the last 15 to 20 hertz. No amount of EQ will create bass that simply can't be reproduced by the system. For big EDM, music, you might miss it. In that case, the subs are the answer. And here's the important part. You don't necessarily need gigantic subs to get the extension you want. Placement-friendly options like the Burkhardt Sub 10 or the Linkdorf BW2 or the Sigberg Incognito deliver deep bass at sane listening levels. The trade-off is output. Use room boundaries and use the corners. Add more subs later if needed. How much is simply a matter of how far SPL-wise you want the subs to be able to follow the 4700. In this listening room, I was perfectly happy without subs most of the time. Dialing it in with a couple of sub 10s or incognito subs with room perfect though, that's a story for another video.
We work for charity, support nature preservation.
Let's start with some of the immediate Silverback listening team impressions. And please note that each of the members also sampled the CLC-65 prototype the same day. So they might be referencing the experience difference in some cases.
I'll understand, and in a little while, he'll take my hand, and though it's
Sounds very good. Really good. Very live and very natural, and you just want to give your attention to this music.
Yeah.
Yes.
You feel that it's a more live kind of sound?
Yeah, and it's very bright in the high areas.
Yeah.
It sounds really good.
Yeah.
This jazz.
So bright as in open sounding, or bright as in, oh, that's too brittle?
No. In open.
Yeah,
open and very clear sound.
These feel like a pair of PA speakers.
Yeah.
For the immediacy and the energy delivery and handling.
George
Yeah.
Duke.
Oh yeah, let's try him.
The character of that bass drum there.
Yeah. So tight.
It's
There's
almost
so much
like
punch. So much punch.
It's like getting a bullet in the head when
it's
he hits that
incredible impact.
E-piano there.
Wow. Jeez. It's tight and impactful all the way up and doesn't seem to affect the Rhodes piano on top of it.
It's like there's some kind of flatness to it, the guitars there.
Yeah, I think that's
And-
what pushes them in front of the vocal. They get this harshness that jumps out at you.
Ain't that a little bit weird with that balance there?
They're a little bit schizophrenic, these speakers, depending on what you give them, then they perform differently.
Yeah.
Whereas other speakers we tried in here are much more uniform. You can predict them from song to song.
Like a box of chocolate?
You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Yep, that's true. So in that sense, they're entertaining because they're a little bit unpredictable. But yeah, some songs grab you and they're perfect for the way they present it. Other ones you think, oh, they've changed the position of the priority of the mix, which is a little bit unusual that they have that much of an effect on the presentation of it.
For rhythmic music, they're just in their S's, but not so much with classical or if you listen to close acoustic stuff.
Me living with the S-4700 longer, that punch and slam remains wildly entertaining. The way it throws sound at you is just something to behold. The mid-range is so clear, and some might feel it's a little too excited in the top end sometimes. Over time though, I notice things sticking out where they shouldn't. That exaggerated attack in certain bands can become a little fatiguing depending on genre. The soundstage isn't huge, which I expected, and it really wants you seated precisely. When you move off axis or change your height, the balance shifts quickly. This is a speaker that rewards focused listening. It doesn't follow you into the kitchen well balanced, at least not in my room here. The best analogy I can give is this. It wants to make you dance, but when you stand up, you might not feel the same urge. None of this takes away from how impressive and entertaining this speaker is. That headroom is just immense. You often play way louder than you think because it never sounds strained, like in never ever. And no matter how quietly you play, it still feels like it wants to grab you. One thing I can't ignore is how brilliant this sound is for home cinema. Crisp dialogue, explosive dynamics, effortless scale. No wonder that JBL dominates that space, that's for sure.
We work for charity, support nature preservation.
The 4700 excels at snap, punch and dynamics while maintaining a smoothness that delivers detail and insight like a monitor. There's enormous headroom for domestic use.
Yeah, there's not a problem at all.
The compromises are clear. No true sub-bass. A really sensitive cabinet.
Cut transmission! Cut transmission? Cut it!
Now, back to the regular programming. What it gives you is so rare. Really joyful hi-fi. Energetic, engaging, immediate, with enough headroom to satisfy whatever you throw at it. It reminds me why I fell in love with music in the first place. It's not for everyone, and it's not for anyone pretty soon, but it's on sale right now. It was not built for everyone. It was built for those who want to feel the music in their chest, for the guitars to cut and the drums to slam without apology. It's for those who want to decompress daily and have a sound bath. It's a speaker with a clear opinion about things. And maybe, just maybe, that's exactly what your hi-fi needs more of. Hang on for the pros and the cons, and hit those like and subscribe buttons, and consider to support the mission on Patreon. And remember, in the end, it's all about how your system makes you feel. Everything else is actually just bloody noise.
Just listen.
See you soon.